Welcome students. This is the last part of Unit 3. Today we are going to study about industrial psychology, the definition of industrial psychology, the aims and objectives of industrial psychology, scope, and then benefits, applications, and personality tests that are applied in psychology. So let us start with industrial psychology. So basically, when you look at India, India has a long tradition or history of industrial psychological training and research. But then there are various things which actually led to the development of the concept called industrial psychology. Basically, it is developed in order to study the attributes of jobs, applicants of those jobs, and methods of assessing the jobs. It also assesses the procedures that are used in job analysis, applicant testing, and interviews. It also studies and puts into place behave procedures for the orientation of new incumbents and also training of employees. Industrial psychology is a very important concept to understand the people at work. It focuses on improving, evaluating, and predicting job performance, while organizational psychology focuses on how organizations impact and interact. They look at the people who are industrial psychologists, they look at the questions regarding whom to hire, how to define, how to measure the performance, and how to prepare employees for performing successfully at jobs, and how to create jobs, how to change jobs, and how to structure the organization. There are various human factors that are to be studied in the industrial psychology. It also studies the cognitive and psychological process, the interaction between the two using tools and objects. In this study, the goal is to better design the methods and processes so that the production or the productivity or the output is reached. So, industrial psychology is the study of men at work as individuals and in groups, and of the relationship between individuals and groups. Industrial psychology is also concerned with the study of human behavior. It is a study of human behavior in different aspects of industry and business, for example, production, distribution, and use of goods and services of the civilization. It studies human behavior in order to obtain information that can be applied to the very practical objectives of helping to resolve industrial process. So in the end, we can say that industrial psychology is the application of psychological principles and facts to the behavior of the people at work in industry and in business. So therefore, this is the concrete definition of industrial psychology. So it is nothing but it is the study of human behavior so that information can be collected, principles can be applied, and then productivity can be achieved. So it is an important objective of the organization to achieve productivity. So the role of industrial psychology is of greater because it actually depends on the productivity of an organization. Usually, industrial psychology helps in selecting the employees, and it is in production, it is in distribution, and how to use goods and services. Like that, industrial psychology is used in many places. There are various people who have defined and who has done lot of work in industrial psychology, like for example Frederick W. Taylor. He has written a book on improving industrial efficiency. Then Kurt Lewin, how he described the number of leadership styles. And then Robert Yucks, and he worked on the field of intelligence testing. Usually, industrial psychology helps in the organizational setup to improve the productivity of the organization. The purpose to study this is to improve individual performance and health while at the same time benefiting the industry. It also studies areas like human computer interaction, personal psychology, and human factors affecting the industry. And the functions may include training employees, developing job performance standards, and measuring job performance. It has a wide variety of tasks like studying work attitudes, behaviors, evaluation of the company's performance, conducting training and development, and basically, the whole concept here is to understand human behavior in the workplace. So, this is what is all about industrial psychology. Going further, let us understand what are the aims and objectives of industrial psychology. First one is to improve the situation on the job. Second is to affect high morale and enthusiasm at work. Third is to restore the mental health of upset and confused individuals. Fourth is to remove risk to health or threats to safety. Fifth one is to increase efficiency of people at work, and the sixth one is to increase productivity and hence the profits. So let us understand one by one. The first one is to improve the situation on the job. Industrial psychology helps the individuals or employees at workplace to understand what is the job they have to do and what is expected from the organization. So therefore, the job analysis output, that is job description and job specification, is understood, and employees start performing or improving at the job. Second one is to affect high morale and enthusiasm at work. Employees tend to get into a boredom or fatigue state when they are not motivated. So, therefore, through industrial psychology, the morale is boosted. Motivation is being given so that they perform well and they get enthusiasm to work. Third one is to restore the mental health and upset and confused individuals. Not always employees are successful, not always organizations are successful. There are times when there is confusion and there are lot of problems that are faced by individuals as well as organizations. It could be external factors or internal factors because of which they fail. So, individuals need some kind of mental support within an organization so that they can get back to their original mental state. So, the objective of industrial psychology is to restore the mental health of upset and confused individuals who are failures to themselves. Fourth one is to remove risk to health or threats to safety. In order to avoid accidents and all, it is very, very important that there are some hazards which are to be known, the precautions to be taken, and in case of accidents, what kind of health coverage to be given and what kind of insurance. So all these things are taken care of in through industrial psychology. The fifth one is to increase efficiency of people at work. As we all know that employees do not perform at the same level. Each employee has their own level of productivity. So therefore, the efficiency of the people, the employees, is improved through industrial psychology. Because of the morale and the motivation being given to the employees, they try to improve themselves and therefore the productivity or output increases. And the last one is to increase productivity and hence the profits. See, the main goal of industrial psychology is to increase productivity, and thus the profits might also increase with increasing productivity, as the profits are dependent on revenues. So, therefore, these are the various aims and objectives of industrial psychology. Going further, let us understand the scope of industrial psychology. In what areas does industrial psychology is used? It is it is used to understand, or it is applied to understand the cultural pattern of a working group, or the commonly accepted attitudes and standards to which the individual must conform if he is to be accepted as a member. So industrial psychology tries to understand the accepted culture and how the employee is responding to the accepted culture. Is he changing himself and to the attitudes and standards raised in the organization, or is he making a change in the cultural pattern? So this is what is studied in industrial psychology, the cultural pattern of an organization. Then the second thing which is being applied is in connection with human problems associated with aspects of human work. There are various issues when there is no plan in an organization. For example, if we need few employees to work on a project in our organization, we need few employees, right? So if you need some employees, from where are you going to take them? How are you going to place them? What are you going to pay them? And what kind of work are you going to take them? Hence, the first thing is employee selection and placement. Employee selection and pay placement is an important first uh, for application of industrial psychology. As these people work with human resource department, they observe the employee behavior and they assist in the development of recruitment processes, selection processes, and placement processes. This includes development of job analysis, development of recruitment ads, development of qualifications required, development of responsibilities to be given, development of selection processes, selection assessment, and then finally placing the employee. The second aspect of human work that is studied here is employee training and development. They perform job analysis whereby the skills and abilities necessary to perform a specific job effectively are determined. The information and insights gained from these analyses are used to develop and evaluate the employee skills development and training programs, and then improved training programs are developed. Next one is attitude, morale, and motivation. At work, attitude is very important of the employees. An employee with a positive and vibrant attitude definitely performs better than an employee with low key attitude. Morale is also important, which boosts the satisfaction levels. And motivation, it is a kind of fulfillment of a need or a desire to achieve a specific goal. So therefore, attitude, morale, and motivation helps in achieving the individual and organizational goals. Human work related to supervision and evaluation is also very important, and industrial psychology can be applied here. You can supervise people, you can judge people, identify people, and understand people using various theories and uh, literature on psychology, and evaluate them based on few tests which we'll learn later. And then you can propose some strategies or some kind of practices which may improve them in their specific areas where there is lacuna. Measurement of various kinds of human ability. Through industrial psychology, the human ability can be measured. No doubt, not all results are correct, but then it tries to understand what kind of or what level of employee, at what, in which quality he is good, in which quality he is okay, and in which quality he is not good. So these things are usually measured using industrial psychology. So, for going further, the third one is problems of organizations. How to remunerate employees, that is, financial remuneration can be assessed. Through industrial psychology, job analysis is done and then job evaluation is done, which leads to financial remuneration. Every employee in an organization doesn't know how much he is worth of, and even the organization doesn't know what the job is worth of. So, a comparative study and the various other methods available in literature helps the industrial psychologist to ascertain the financial remuneration to be given to a worker or a laborer or an employee. Working conditions or environment. Certainly, the productivity depends on working environment. What kind of culture, what kind of various things are there in the organization that are affecting an employee at work. It could be timings, it could be dress code, it could be several other factors, whether conditions, hygiene factors, or the facilities given to the individual. Equipment design is another thing which is very important. As you all know, ergonomics is the study of movements of an individual so that the maximum productivity can be achieved by most less by least movements. So equipment design is another aspect which is which can be done through industrial psychology, which can ease the work of the laborer, and also it reduces the wastage of resources, especially time, money, and labor. Industrial psychology can also help in connection with market research, sales, and advertising. It will tell you what type of people require what type of product, and where the sales are increasing and where it is decreasing, and how to improve sales. And the psychology of the consumers can also be studied, that is through consumer behavior and consumer preferences theories, which actually help the organizations to ascertain what type of product is demanded in the market and what are to be produced so that the needs are satisfied. To organization behavior. Organization behavior is sum total of individual behavior and group behavior. So industrial psychology helps an individual to improve, helps him to understand his own behavior, helps him to work in groups, work in a team, and also helps him to become a team member or a team leader, and helps him to develop into a leader. So, organization behavior depends on various internal and external factors that can be helped through industrial psychologist. Industrial psychology can help in connection with program development and individual evaluation, that is consulting, and it can be helped to find facts about existing methods and the development of better methods, like new interviewing methods, different application blanks, etc. So, therefore, these are the various scope of industrial psychology where industrial psychology can be applied. And in the first one is to understand the culture pattern of a working group, to the various aspects of human work like employee selection and placement, employee training and development, attitude, morale and motivation, supervision and evaluation, measurement of various kinds of human ability. It also studies the related problems of organizations like financial remuneration, working conditions, and equipment design. It also helps in market research, sales, and advertisement. It also helps to understand organization behavior. It helps in developing programs and individual evaluation like consulting. And also, it helps in developing better methods used in industrial psychology. Going further, let us understand the benefits of applying industrial psychology. There are various benefits of industrial psychology when used in workplace. It helps in improving their recruitment strategy and methods. Different organizations have different recruitment needs. A product oriented organization may need people who are physically fit, whereas a service oriented organization may need not. Like that, the strategy should be changed depending on the type or the nature of the organization. Then, efficient personnel selection. Industrial psychology helps in selecting the best people for the right people for the right place at the right time. This is how selection is made. Increased employee productivity. No doubt, organizational productivity is of prime importance for industrial psychology, but industrial psychology at workplace helps an employee to identify his problems, his own areas where he has to improve and where he has already improved. So, therefore, it creates a kind of need so that he improves and thus his individual productivity increases. It helps in higher job satisfaction levels. Usually, employees perform for getting remunerated financially, but satisfaction is another thing which is very important, which is a factor which determines an employee to stay in the organization. Better work environment, the culture, the climate, the internal factors affect an employee to stay in the organization and to perform well. So, working environment can be improved through industrial psychology. Work life balance. This is the time and age where work life balance is the most difficult task which is being faced by employees. But industrial psychology helps to maintain this balance by various strategies like conducting some outdoor games, outdoor recreation, or something which actually benefits the employees. Greater workplace cooperation. So, industrial psychology also helps in workplace cooperation to help boost the morale of the employees and increase the productivity. So, these are the benefits of applying industrial psychology in workplace: improved recruitment, efficient selection, increased employee productivity, higher job satisfaction levels, better work environment, work life balance, greater workplace cooperation. Now, let us understand the applications of industrial psychology. The applications of industrial psychology are many. So, let us understand one by one. Industrial psychology, first is it identifies the training and development needs of the employees. Then it optimizes the quality of work life. It formulates and implements training programs, evaluates the effectiveness of training programs, coaching individual employees, managers, and organizational leaders, setting performance evaluation criteria for individuals, teams, and organizations, assessment of consumer preferences and satisfaction, as well as marketing strategies. These are the areas where the industrial psychology can be applied. Industrial psychologists are expert at the design and implementation and analysis of psychological research. Industrial psychology has received specialized training in science of human behavior at workplace. This provides them knowledge of issues which are critical to business success. Many companies hire them as full-time employees to deal with issues like worker productivity, employee training, and other human resource related issues. A large number of industrial psychologists sometimes they work for academic. There are several variables affecting successful operation and profitability of an organization. Organization need to make things right, including communication, conflict resolution, efficient processes, professional competence, and all. So ultimately, It helps in improving the employee productivity, developing screening procedures, overall overall quality and environment improvement, and finding the roots of various issues in the organization. Therefore, these are the applications of industrial psychology, and many big organizations all around the world use this concept, study this so that the employees and the organization can be benefited. There are few tests that are usually used by industrial psychologists so that the human factors could be studied using this. There are six common tests that are used in industrial psychology, that is called DISC assessment. DISC: D stands for dominance, I stands for influence, S stands for steadiness, and C stands for conscientiousness. D includes results, determined, direct, whereas influence includes enthusiastic, outgoing, persuasive, and S, that is steadiness, is nothing but thoughtful, supportive, and patient. And the last one is conscientiousness, precise, analytical details. So this is how the DISC assessment is done. This test identifies communication styles in and workplace and helps employee understand how to be more effectively work together and communicate. And you can learn about DISC assessment in this through this link. Then the second one is MBTI assessment, or Myers Briggs assessment. In this assessment, the test categorizes 16 personality traits. The 16 personality traits types to help you understand how you perceive the world and why you make decisions. This is one of the popular tests used. So this 16 personality traits come through combination of these personality types: extroverts, sensors, thinkers, judges, introverts, intuitives, feelers, perceivers. So these are the 8 personality types which help determine the type of personality an individual is. So after the test, you will come to know what type of combination of personality you are and what kind of learning style is used. Next one is predictive index. Predictive index, or PI. Predictive index, or PI, again has 5 levels: objectivity, formality, patience, extraversion, and dominance. It's a simple test that helps you understand your employees' behavior at work. It also helps you align goals and improve efficiency. Next one is 5 factor model of personality, that is the big 5 traits. There are 5 important traits in individual, and the degree of that available in an individual exhibits the kind of personality they possess. Big 5 model of personality traits. These 5 traits are openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Openness is all about imagination, feelings, action, needs. Conscientiousness, it is about competence, self-discipline, thoughtfulness, and goal-driven. Extroversion, sociability, sociability, assertiveness, emotional expression, agreeableness, cooperative, trustworthy, and good natured. And the last one is neuroticism, that is tendency towards unstable emotions. The degree, sometimes individuals, employees get low score that shows they are low at this kind of trait and high at some other trait. So this also defines a personality of an individual. Next one is occupational occupational interest inventory, or OIIS. Employees identifies employees' interest in the workplace, helping them understand their preferred assignments and roles. This helps in delegation and employee retention. Sometimes these areas are divided into six categories: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, conventional. Realistic, they prefer practical hands on physical activities with tangible results, prefer building, fixing, repairing objects or mechanical things or working outside. Investigative, they prefer to solve abstract problems involving science or engineering related subjects. They are curious about the physical world and why and how it works, enjoy intellectual challenges and original or unconventional attitudes. Artistic people prefer under structured situations, self expression of ideas and concepts through different artistic mediums such as art, music, theater, etc. Social social people prefer direct service or helping opportunities, advising, counseling, coaching, mentoring, teaching, group discussion, and drawn to humanistic and social causes. Whereas enterprising personalities prefer business situation, persuasion, selling, influencing, enthusiasm, energetic, assertive, self-confident. They are drawn towards management or leadership or marketing roles. The conventional type of personality prefers structured business situation involving data analysis, finance, planning, and organization strategies. They value efficiency and order. So this is about occupational interest inventories. Then the last one is situational judgment test. In this test, stimulated situations to test how worker would react in a certain circumstance is studied. Based on the rep's response, they are gauged through customer service skills and confront any possible flaws. These are the various tests that are being used by industrial psychologists to assess the behavior of individuals or employees and improve them depending on the results. So, therefore, there are six personality traits: DISC assessment, Myers Briggs, predictive index, five factor model, occupational interest inventories, and situational judgment. So, with this, we will try to conclude our session today. So, let us go back and see what we have done today. We have understood the meaning and definition of industrial psychology, aims and objectives of industrial psychology, scope of industrial psychology, benefits, applications, and the personality test used in industrial psychology. So, with this, I hope you understand the industrial psychology subject concept in third unit. Thank you very much.